Canucks win 6-4 over the Ottawa Senators. I don't have a studio at home or anything resembling the sort, so I just screen mirrored this onto my TV. Thank you, fabulous goal horns, for the graphic. I hope you're okay with me using it tonight. I'm going to keep this one short because I have no idea how to do this, but that was a very scrambly game. From start to finish for both teams, it seemed like no one knew what was going on. So coming into this game, you knew that Bo Horvat had something to prove, because in that shootout attempt against Nashville, he dropped the ball, plain and simple. There's no sugarcoating it. He completely whiffed on his attempt, and he felt so bad about it that after the game, he responded to some random in his comment section claiming that Bo Horvat owed him money because he bet on the Canucks to win. And of course, that shootout attempt didn't cost us the game, but cost us the chance to win the game later, right? And he felt so bad that he responded and said, "Send me your info, I'll pay you back the money." That's not a normal thing for an NHL player to do. That is someone who specifically felt terrible about that game. And so Horvat went out there, had a pretty average game, didn't do much tonight. Yeah, no, he scored 2 goals because of course he did. He now has 12 goals in 12 games this season. Holy Christ, Bo, relax. I think my favorite part of that whole deal is that I was watching that game with my girlfriend, and she has no, I wouldn't call it a secret crush. I would just call it an open crush on Bo Horvat. She absolutely loves him. And something happened that was funny in the commentary. John Garrett, after one of Horvat's goals, I forget if it was the first or second one, John Garrett on the commentary goes, "And Bo Horvat remains hot." And then there was this long pause after that. And I look over to the side at my girlfriend, and she's just sitting there going,
"Yeah, he is."
Jesus. Really? I'm trying a new thing.
I just wanted to scare you. I got excited.
You did don't be in my videos. I kind of want to start this whole thing over. Anyway, back to the game. This was a very scrambly game for both teams. You could tell there was a lot of confusion and miscommunication on both ends. It looked like two very young teams who were still trying to put it all together. And for the Ottawa Senators, that's very excusable because that's what they are. For the Canucks, I don't know, man. That's not really how you want to win a game. Like, on one hand, sure, the team played well. You saw a lot of really good plays, but there were so many miscommunications. And I guess a part of me wants to say they weren't really all the players' faults. There's one specific thing I want to pick on here, and I'm not really targeting this at Bruce Boudreau because he has a lot of limited options he has few limited options to work with on defense. He does not have much to pick between at all here. But OEL and Tyler Myers is not a good pairing. We've talked about it before. We've experimented with it before. It does not work. If you don't believe me, here's a screen grab from the game. I feel like there was a lot of examples of them not maybe playing at their best tonight. That was one of the worst ones. And oh my God, something needs to change here. But again, I'm not really blaming this on Bruce Boudreau because look at what he has to work with. Like, sure, Kyle Burroughs was in the press box. I guess you could have thrown him in there somewhere. But it's kind of an understanding that if he goes in, Rathbone comes out, and we need to start developing Rathbone properly. Man, am I worried about that situation. I mean, I know a lot of people don't really think about this that much anymore, but look what happened to Mikey DiPietro. That's not because he didn't develop himself or keep the effort up as a prospect. He went a whole year without playing a hockey game because this team completely dropped the ball with him. Now, there's no use crying over spilled milk, so I'm going to put that in the past, but we cannot do the same thing with Rathbone. We need to develop him properly. Trading him is off the table. We don't have defense, nor do we have defensive prospects. We need this to work out. We really do. My point being, this team needs to make a trade on defense. Rutherford and Alvin can get up there and say all the things they want about Bruce's system and it doesn't work for the team. Bruce's system doesn't involve a lot of defense because he doesn't have a lot of defense to work with. If you start leaning on them, problems are going to happen. They need an improvement in terms of a roster player. They need actual better players. And speaking of that whole Mikey DiPietro thing from earlier, Studnicka was part of that package, and he got his first goal as a Canuck tonight, which was awesome to see. He's done a really good job filling in on that fourth line. And no, he's probably not going to be there when Lazar comes back. And there's a few players that when they return from injury could push him out of the lineup. But guess what? You need guys like that. I don't want to be calling up someone from Abbotsford that I'm not confident in. I would much rather have a player like that who can fill in when necessary and sit in the press box later or get sent down because his development is not that important to the Canucks. What is that he can keep them afloat while players are out of the lineup, and he seems to be doing a really good job of that. Great on him for getting the goal tonight. I'm sorry, this video is all over the place because I didn't really have a plan. I just really wanted to try doing something here. But Ryan Reynolds was at this game, got a standing ovation from the crowd because there's obviously rumors circulating about him trying to find an investment group to go in with him and buy that team. Why? Like, I get it, the Ottawa Senators are for sale and the Canucks technically are not. Please reconsider, Ryan. Ryan, if you're out there, I'm sure you're watching this. Please reconsider. I love you. Like, is it not almost insulting, though? Like, Canucks fans, in general, as a whole, grouping them all together, really have not been impressed with our ownership group. And the most, maybe the most famous Vancouverite, at least currently, is now buying a different NHL franchise after we know he is a Canucks fan. We've seen him do promotions with the Canucks before. Oh, it would have been so cool to see him here, you know? However you look at it, Van City Reynolds is always going to be Van City Reynolds. This whole video kind of felt weird start to finish. It's the middle of the season. I don't know if I'm really going to be doing these very consistently. I don't have anything resembling a studio at my house. And this was a very unplanned video, but I want to start getting my opinions out there a bit more. I know I'm just a yelly, screamy TikTok guy, but I'm a lot more than that too. I've got a lot of opinions, and honestly, there's one big reason that I'm starting this. There's a void in Vancouver, even in British Columbia sports media, right? We always complain about how Toronto has all this extra media attention and they get all this extra things and all Sportsnet, TSN. It's just about what Austin Matthews ate for breakfast. You've heard all this stuff before. And it's true, right? I think what a lot of people in Toronto don't know is that Sportsnet Central isn't just Sportsnet Central in Toronto. That's the same feed we get everywhere. The top of the news every week is the Leafs and the Jays and the Raptors. And then we all get the leftovers. And I'm sick of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I grew up cheering for the Blue Jays too, but holy Christ, man, there's a whole country that they're supposed to be in charge of covering, and it's really clear what their priorities are. Vancouver is a really big sports market, and I think they deserve more media attention, but I'm not going to get anywhere by sitting in my basement and complaining about that. Now, let me make one thing clear. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere by doing this either, but it is the only way I can think of to shed a little more light and draw just that little bit more attention to Vancouver and specifically the Canucks. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, won't we? Man, I'm doing this in the middle of November. I don't even have my beard. This is an awful time to start doing this. What was I thinking? Anyway, if you stuck around this long, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Hit like if you like it. Hit subscribe if you liked it. Oh, Jesus Christ. I gotta try really hard not to sound like... Oh, man. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more stuff like this, which ideally will be better than this in the future, but you get what I mean. You want to see more Canucks content, drop a follow. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, enjoy your day. I'm not committing to this, but on our podcast, I have a sign off where I say, see you on the next one. So I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, but I think that's what I'm going to do here. So like I said earlier, thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like. And if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, please hit subscribe. What do I do with my hands? Why is this so difficult? See you on the next one. No, my God. No. See you on the next one. No. See you on the next one.